Welcome to Builder Buzz by Home Nation, where we bring in builders, developers, and everyday investors to talk about one of America's biggest opportunities, affordable housing. We'll talk about real costs, explosive growth, big mistakes, and tough lessons you won't learn anywhere else. Whether you're building homes, buying land, or just building big ideas, this podcast is for you.
Hello, everybody. Today, my guest is Jennifer with Buildxact. Really excited for this one. If you're a contractor, whether you're small or you're big or you're anywhere in between, Buildxact is able to meet needs that if you just transparently don't have it and you're still on pen and paper, then you're behind. Buildxact will help you manage your leads and help you quote your jobs accurately. In fact, so accurately that their system is integrated directly with Home Depot, so you can get live pricing when you're on the job. You know how much it's going to cost to buy that 2x4 that's 10 miles down the road at the Home Depot. You can quote your customer accurately for that renovation or whatever it is that you need to do. So I don't want to spoil it, but there's some really great things in here that you're going to learn. If you're a contractor or you're a homeowner, you're going to see how this will benefit you. And if your contractor is not using Buildxact and you're a homeowner, you might tell them, hey, give them a look and see how they can help you scale your business and manage your leads, manage your customers so that you can give them the absolute best customer service, best experience possible. So let's tune in. So just to start then, Jennifer, let us know just a quick overview of what Buildxact does and then what position you fulfill there.
Sure. So Buildxact is a construction project management software serving custom home builders, small and medium-sized business owners, and design builder modelers that works. That's an online cloud-based system that goes from design all the way to final invoice and connects the suppliers, the homeowner, and the trades.
Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of different softwares. I think of like QuickBooks whenever I think of accounting or numbers, I think of QuickBooks. But Buildxact that's not an accurate comparison.
But we don't compare with QuickBooks. We integrate with QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a cost tracking component, which is really, really important to our users. So they can always see what the variance is, what their profits are during any stage of the project, even when change orders start coming in. And change orders can also be handled on the platform.
Okay.
But for us, it is more about the estimating, the quotes, the takeoffs. Our takeoff tool is very sophisticated. Then also with the estimates, we connect directly to the suppliers. So the dealers. So in the US, we have the Home Depot's National Pro product list connected to our estimates. So if you do an estimate, then you can be connected to my Home Depot's like 4 miles from my house. I'm connected to that one. It's showing me the SKUs and that pricing on that day so that I have that accuracy and transparency that I'm giving to the homeowner as well.
Yeah. Wow. So you're to have in your software connected real time with pricing from Home Depot. So they have accurate lumber pricing, accurate plumbing pricing, electrical pricing, whatever it is. They can on the job, hey, this is your material cost. Here's your labor.
That's right.
Yeah. That's fantastic. How do you keep up to date with all that? That would be, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a sophisticated integration. It's we are in hand with the Home Depot. We have the ongoing meetings with them. And we do that with other suppliers as well. Their pros have a variety of suppliers that they purchase from, and many of them like to purchase from local lumber yards, and we do that with local lumber yards as well. So integrating with their price list, and that way the pro can be confident in what they're giving too, because a lot of times they have to put in escalation clauses to cover themselves and try to manage the risk of what they're handing over, especially in today's market. I mean, there are tariffs when things are changing on things are so volatile and they're changing on such a regular basis. We have to stay on top of and help them and support them with the most on-demand accurate information we can
Hmm.
provide. So that's what we're looking to do.
Yeah, so here at Home Nation, we have a bunch of different manufacturers that we represent, and we have to keep up to date with the pricing, and it does not change nearly as much as material pricing does. But it still does change frequently. Sometimes usually the price goes up, but sometimes it does come down. And that can be difficult to keep up with. And we are talking fraction of the price updates you probably have, and more than likely not as many suppliers. We have a couple dozen that we keep up to speed with, but that's hard. Our tech has to be on it when the pricing updates come out. We need to go and update those right away. Otherwise, it just causes lots of different problems. So I would imagine that takes a trained team is on top of it all of the time, ready to update as soon as you get information from the suppliers.
Well, I mean, that doesn't it's nothing on. I mean, it is
Mm,
as the suppliers update their pricing, it's an API integration that just
I see.
into our system. So it is on demand. As soon as a price change is made by the Home Depot, that is what our users see in their estimate. And also, like, if they're part of the Home Depot Pro Extra program, then they see discount that they get from Pro from that
Mm,
program right their estimate. So they know that, like, if they're receiving, I think if they could receive up to an 8% discount through Pro Extra, if they get that 8% discount, it's showing in those numbers on the estimate so that, and then they can bake
huh.
in the margin that they want to make. And then also just make sure they are they're in control of to the homeowner as
Mm.
well.
So, all right. So then perhaps the manufacturers, and no dog on them, not dig on them, but maybe they're a little bit behind on our end because they integrate directly with us. They'll send out PDFs and say, hey, here's the updated price sheet
Mhm.
for July of 2025. I would imagine though, not everybody that you work with is as sophisticated. Do you still have some pricing updates like that from maybe local lumber yards?
So yeah, so with the local, we are trying to make everything as seamless as possible. So we try to do everything as an API integration.
Hmm.
There also can be users who upload an Excel spreadsheet. And so if anything changes on an Excel spreadsheet, they need to make sure that they update,
Yeah.
upload a whole new spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So there are circumstances like that. Now, it certainly you can make process efficiencies and in
Yeah.
times like that. So you can just like change the one upload and then you're
Hmm.
set. But yeah, it is not easy to top up things like that. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
no. But it's great. So because you've got this team behind you, you have these integrations, like that's going to help everybody. That's the builder because they know they're getting the right pricing, and then that's going to help the customer because nobody likes change orders. Yeah, you might have an escalation clause or furniture or whatever, right? Price change clauses, but customers don't like that at the end of the day. Nobody does. We like to see what the price is, and then we pay exactly the price.
Mhm.
So it sounds like with Buildxact, you're able to get pretty well as close as you can get to updates in live time.
Yes, that's right.
So tell me what like the typical customer for Buildxact, what are they coming to you with? What situation are they in? What problems are you finding that you're most commonly solving?
Oh my gosh. Um, so we so like I said before, the customer is basically a small business owner.
Hmm.
So they are most typically needing and wanting to be in the field working on the project
Yeah.
or being face to face with the homeowner or doing something that is valuable for their time. So what we are doing for them is taking away all of the things that are, not efficient use of their time, and then also giving them time back because of the efficiencies that we've created within our platform. So, for
Hmm.
instance, we've brought in some AI tools
Hmm.
that can an AI tool that can take off. And instead of doing click and point on a takeoff and measuring all the spaces, this AI tool can do it in a matter of minutes
Wow.
and label all the places. Can do a whole house takeoff in just a minute with labeling and the measurements.
Hmm.
We also have AI estimator. We have templates built in. Our users can create templates. So if they
Hmm.
do a project over and over again, it is just easy to refer to that and just do any, make any small changes or like custom changes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had so many builders who, said that they were on the job site all day and then at night they were doing, X, Y, and Z, which took them
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours. Well, now that we've reduced the amount of communication back and forth with the dealer and the suppliers, we've facilitated all of it on one platform. Then, all of our users are saying how much time they're saving, and then the accuracy equates to so much in saved costs and saved
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Because a lot of it's hey, this is what we do and this is the value it's going to bring. But it's another thing when it actually happens and you actually have users that are saying, I actually save time. I no longer have to be after the job working late at night when I'd rather be home with my wife and kids. I can actually save time by using Buildxact, and I don't have to do this with pen and paper. So it sounds like you have a lot of success stories like that where people come and it just changes how they operate.
Yeah, fortunately we do. And it's actually, we have very sweet stories from builders where they have been able to say that they've gotten their life back,
Yeah.
more free time. And then also like stories of, some of our favorite customers who had a health issue and
Mhm.
because they were running themselves ragged. And
Yeah.
then after starting Buildxact, no longer, that's what gave them
Yeah.
their health back and
Yeah.
their free time back.
That's amazing. So I saw on the website, you also have. So you mentioned AI integration, AI tools, which there's a lot of use for AI, but then there's a lot of fluff right now because we're as an industry, everyone's kind of figuring out where to use it and where it actually brings value. I know one where you type in like a description of what the project is, and you say, "Hey, here's what I need to do," and then it feeds back information of this is how you need to price it out, or these are the things you need to watch for. Can you share a little bit what that is?
Yeah, that's Blue. We've named it Blue. So he's our AI assistant tool. So Blue can do, there's an estimate generator. So
Hmm.
you can go in and actually, there is a template where it even feeds you the prompts to ask for a kitchen remodel or a bath
Hmm.
remodel. So you can use descriptors to say, I want to do a high-end kitchen remodel, and
Hmm. Wow.
including granite countertops and whatever else. And this is the space. It's 250 square feet, including demolition of the existing kitchen. And this project, you have to tell it geographically where it is so that they know how to price in the labor, and then also pulling in from where the prices would be
Hmm.
from.
Yeah.
Then I think it takes probably minutes, which seems like an eternity in our world of quick,
Yeah.
quick, but it takes like about 2 minutes and it comes back. Now, I've used this tool. I would say I've made things up and played around with it. I've used it a number of times, and there and the accuracy is improving and
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
pretty spot on. But then we also have the Blue estimate review tool. So then you can just say, you can ask the estimate reviewer to look at what you've come up with. And that estimate reviewer will then look at every single category, the 10 categories that are part of this remodeling project, and say, oh, by the way, you forgot to this permit. And
Hmm.
so you can look
I
through and you
see.
can say, do I need to add that? And you can go add it in, and then you can click that off your to-do list. And when I do the estimate reviewer, I might get anywhere from like 15 different things to review. But
Mm.
if one of those 15 things equals $10,000, or all of the 15 things
Yeah.
equate to $10,000, that's $10,000 on a $200,000 project that I'm,
Hmm.
saving.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So it's not Buildxact is you're taking the pen and paper and saying we have it all right here. From your lead management to your quoting to I'm sure a number of different things, and it seems like that's primarily the those are some really good Buildxact is you're going to be able to track all of your customers, potential customers, and provide accurate real quotes. So then you don't have to have pen and paper. You know where you left off with that person. You know you need to follow up with them in 2 days when they said they're going to go home and check it with their spouse. It sounds like that's some of the strongest things from Buildxact is you're taking everything off of the pen and paper that's everywhere and consolidating it into the application that you have.
Right, and giving everybody visibility to what's happening and when it's happening. So the homeowner then has visibility. They can also sign documents that you send to them,
Mhm.
right there in the platform, and then you can save them all, and then you have a track of
Mhm.
what's happened between you guys. Also, if there are selections or if you give them allowances, they can make selections on the platform and send them to you. So then you have all of that right there at your fingertips at any time, right within Buildxact.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If I were to my own, and I actually have some friends that I can think of now, that are doing stuff pen and paper and trying to keep up with it. And I hear, and they're always like, "Man," I'll text them, and they're like, "Oh man, so sorry." They'll text me back like 3 days later. So I've been so busy and da 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 da. And I hear that, I'm like, man, you just gotta you stop with the pen and paper. Like you
Yeah,
gotta get stuff sorted because it's where did I leave that note? Where did I leave that person's number? What did we talk about? I don't remember. How much of the job did they want? So, yeah, I can see if I were them, I'd be looking at Buildxact, and I'm gonna
yeah,
mention it to some of them actually,
awesome.
because they are yeah, they just can't keep up with it. And
Yeah,
there are a lot of out there, and if you wanna provide service to them, just being able to manage that is such a huge part of it.
it
Yeah.
is. You're right.
So you mentioned, before that some important things to you are affordability, sustainability, and resilience. Can you talk a little bit what that means for you and what's important?
Yeah, so all of it that we can, as a country, and we're looking at, what are the various things we're doing for housing as a nation on as a federal level. Um, the right housing is crucial to our economic stability.
Mhm. Yes.
So that is what is near and dear to me. And then if you look at various ways of like the way that sustainability plays a role, we have an aging grid. And with an aging grid, you have to have dependence from that. So, how do we do that? And then also, if you tie that into affordability, if we have all of these climate disasters, and people need to be able to be independent from the grid, and then also even without climate disasters, if we need to have more affordable solutions, we have currently people can get approved for a mortgage without looking at the ongoing cost of a home.
Mhm.
And with property tax rates going up and with home insurance rates going up, really putting a lot of pressure on somebody to stay up on their mortgage payments.
Mhm.
But if we include those things, or if we make home designs that are grid independent or net zero energy, then we can help people stabilize and stay in their homes longer,
Mhm.
have lower costs. And so one of the things that we did at Buildxact actually was to partner with the United States Department of Energy and their advanced building construction team
Mhm.
to create assemblies that would help people get to zero carbon alignment. So things that are for the building envelope and net zero appliance packages and things like
Mhm.
that, you can use Buildxact and get directly to those packages, those assemblies,
Mhm.
without knowing what those formulas are and what you need to do to get
Yeah,
to net zero carbon alignment.
I see. Are there any incentives from the government to, provide some of that, like, from builders? Do they get any tax breaks, any credits, any kickbacks in any way for those, levels of efficiency?
Yeah, there are.
Mhm.
And as far as I know, um, the ones that are in place have to be acted on now and
Yeah.
before January 1st. So I would say some of them are
Mhm.
state based, but even the federal funding for some of those state-based incentives are is probably going to go away. So I'd say that if a contractor is listening, they should look
Yeah.
specifically what is available in their municipality and their state, and then at a federal level as well.
And so with Buildxact, there are some ways to see, hey, here are a couple things that here's how you can comply with these, and then whether or not there's any sort of incentive is going to be largely up to the individual. the business to seek that out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Even knowing that it exists is the first step. Because I found in a lot of cases, people just don't know what's out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That's super smart. That's right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I love that. Thank you much, Jennifer. So Buildxact, XACT, buildxact.com. So if you're a builder, if anyone from a small builder to a big builder, it sounds like it doesn't really matter what capacity, Buildxact is going to cover pretty well everything from lead management to quoting to even with the AI assistance to energy efficiencies and searching that out to find what sort of might be out there. That's fantastic. So your position, Jennifer, just tell us a little bit what you're doing on the day to day. Are you onboarding new customers? Are you support after someone's onboarded? Are you technical? What role do you fulfill there at Buildxact?
Yeah, I'm in the community aspect. So I'm building community with partnerships and then also through some of our content and storytelling.
Okay, that's fantastic. So very much the social side of it.
Yeah.
It's just put it succinctly. This
I don't do social. Well, I mean,
not
I'm
on social media,
yeah.
but
So we have a social media person, but
yeah,
I actually am very much about the presentations, the writing, the content, the press releases, and then also working kind of like business development a little bit
yeah,
to find the right partners that build out our ecosystem so that nothing is left. You mentioned QuickBooks before. We
yeah,
don't do what QuickBooks does,
yeah,
and they've got that process nailed. So we are integrated with them, and I'm looking for other partners that help us build out the ecosystem. So there are no gaps for the process, and it's all completely covered for the builder, and they
hmm.
have everything they need.
So, all right. So you see a lot of then you see a lot of things from the builders to the customers to the government to just kind of everything in between. So then let me ask you, if you could change one thing, whether that's at Buildxact, whether that's how we build, whether that's the government's involvement with building and energy efficiency and what have you, if you could change one thing, what would you change?
Oh, wow. So we actually just did this National Housing Summit in DC at NHB's headquarters. And I think this question was asked, and a lot of people
Mm,
answered that we would have a universal building code.
mm,
Now, that doesn't speak to your local climate,
yeah,
which has to be a consideration. But if we had universal building code, man, would it just I mean, specs would be different,
yeah,
supply chain would be different. We
yeah,
would be able to save so much time and cost and energy in so many different ways.
yeah,
So if we could, maybe I would just answer, we could take a step toward that.
yeah.
But then part of me just wants to say, I that maybe we all just need to have a lobotomy and just like forget everything all of our current processes and start
Hmm.
from scratch.
Hmm.
And so maybe that's the change that I would make is that we
Mm.
can maybe just, if we did that, maybe we wouldn't be sticking anymore. Maybe
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing a different process.
That's a good point. So the idea is restarting in some form or fashion
Yeah.
because whether it's we went the wrong way from the start or started on a path and it led us here and we didn't really intend to end up here, but because of all the different codes and the laws and the whatever, and now we're here. If we could restart in some form or fashion, then we could do things in a way that is likely a lot better
Yeah.
than what we're doing now. And that's better for everybody. That's not meaning just more money for builders. That's going to be less cost for the consumer because we'll have efficiency in how we operate. That's really good. That's probably the most all-encompassing answer that question because there's so many things that change and someone might be like, well, we need to stop doing roofing this way, or oh man, we need to stop doing 2x4s 16 inches on center, we need to change it this way, da, da, da. But yeah, universal building code or some sort of reset, I see that how that could really change things moving in that direction. And I think that's achievable in some form or fashion.
Hmm.
I do think.
Would be fun.
Yeah, it would
Let's,
be
let's
fantastic.
start just in Florida and do it there.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that. I absolutely would. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate appreciate having you on here. I appreciate your time today. So if someone's interested, they can just head to buildxact.com. There's everything there from a demo to a 14-day trial. You can see features, pricing, really fantastic website, presents very, very well. and really clearly shows what you guys offer. So that's the best place for them to go to see what, in more detail, what it is that you offer. That'd be
That's
correct.
right. Buildxact.com. Buildxact.
Yep.
Really.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Well, I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yes. See ya.